All right, well here we are. We're almost at the end of the final day, Lytham International Film Festival. This is our third Q&A of the day. We're getting closer to our awards ceremony. There very well be maybe some award winners in the room with us right now who don't realise it. But we'll find out a little bit later on about that. But let's have a quick chat with some of our wonderful guests. Who are you? Can you tell us the connection to your film? Which is yours?
Sure. Hi everyone, I'm Lydia and I'm one of the producers on The Man That I Wave At.
Hello everyone, I'm Josh and I directed the film Theo's Friend from the previous block.
Hi, my name is Isaac and I was the lead actor in the same film from the previous block.
So it's always nice for audiences to go and find a little bit about the backstory to these films, how they came to be, what your inspiration for it was. So for Theo's Friend, what was that?
Theo's Friend was actually based on an original story that was published from a writer from just outside of Liverpool, so nearish. And I read that story and thought it was amazing, and it actually made me cry, and I thought it resonated with me and like a personal journey I'd been on, and thought I had to make that. And then we had a lot of chats and sessions together and started adapting it into a screenplay, and yeah, we made it.
Has the original author seen your work, seen the final version?
He has seen it, yeah.
And what were their thoughts?
He cried at that, so you know, it went around.
Excellent. There's a really wonderful dynamic between your two lead characters in there, which is great. How natural was that for them? How much of that was you guys as writers and directors to get that across?
So Theo and his friend.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting one actually. We did have the other lead drop out just before.
A week before.
Yeah, so we only had about 5 days to recast that lead, and we didn't want to push the shoot. So this was Mona, who plays Ashley, Theo's friend, was someone I'd worked with a bit before on a couple of different shoots, and I just knew that we already had a relationship, and I knew that she could step in quickly and fill that role, and I wouldn't have to kind of do a lot of work to bring someone up to speed, and that she would just connect. And yeah, we had a first rehearsal, and I was like, thank goodness this is working. So yeah, it wasn't too hard. They both kind of. I don't know if you want to jump in on that.
I can do. I mean, adding to his story, so he read it and it moved him and it made him cry. His original idea was actually to play the role himself, which he didn't say. But he thought that would be terrifying, so instead of doing that, he just cast someone to do it. So that's how I got into the film. But no, it was interesting because we had done the crowdfunder with another actress, and we had quite a bond, and it was cool, it was exciting, and we kind of had this conversation of, right, we've got the whole team involved, this actress pulled out, unfortunately. What are your thoughts? Do we pull it? Do we not? And yeah, she came in and saved the day at the last moment, and I think that was, you know, testament to how much we both sort of just trusted in Josh that it was going to work, and that the story was strong enough as it was that within reason anyone could sort of step in and embody those roles.
It sounds like you had some wonderful source material to be going off to begin with. What did you add to what was already there?
The main thing actually was the football element. That wasn't in it, and that took a bit of persuasion. That is quite a big side of me. I mean, I don't know if you see, I wear, it's kind of, there's an inspiration for myself. I wear kind of makeup and stuff like that, but I also absolutely love football. So that was a big kind of crossover that I wanted to bring in. That he wasn't a footballer and wasn't. So that was, I guess, that whole side of things.
Was there an original scene where it was showing the outside sort of life outside of the Theo's friend story as the football scene? Was there something different, or is that something brand new that you wanted to add on to show that duality?
With the football, no, there wasn't that side, but there was all the scenes outside with kind of Ashley and him at his home where he's comfortable and stuff. But yeah, there wasn't the conflict with the wanting to play football, so that bit was added.
Great. Let's move to the man that I wave at. Ben always has some crazy ideas. Ben does. Ben Island.
He does.
You do, yeah, right?
He really does.
I think we screened one of Ben's films last year as well. How much of this was Ben's original idea? How much of it came from a script from elsewhere, ideas from elsewhere?
The film is pretty much almost exactly what was written in the original script. So it's very true to the original vision that he had to create. We had a few little tweaks and things due to the fact that we had to do all of it in essentially what was like a very short amount of time, so we had a couple of pickups to do for it at the end, but ultimately it's completely stayed true to the vision and to the script that I first read when I joined and came on board.
Do you know where that vision came from him, how that got
From
in?
Ben's fabulously bizarre mind. No, he's a really talented writer and a really talented director, so it was really nice to be able to sort of work with him, and to, obviously, being a producer, I'm on board with it sort of from script all the way through to this point, but it's a really interesting journey for us as well, because obviously I can't see the vision that's inside his head, so when it actually comes out of the edit room and I finally get to watch the film, like before you guys all see it, I get the moment of, oh yeah, it works. This is the film. Like, so it's interesting because you know what's going to happen, you know the script, and you know the story, but still seeing it come together in the way that it is in his mind once it actually comes out of the edit room is still like really nice part of producing, to see the work that you put in actually like actualised, and you go, yeah. So I was really proud to be part of this one.
And as a producer, it's always nice when you guys come up, because we often know there's always directors and up, so we kind of hear a lot of that kind of creative vision that's there. But how well does obviously how much does that original vision that he tried to convey to you guys, when you've imagined that film in your head, this is what it's going to be, this is what it's going to look like, how much does that sync with the final version that you saw?
It's pretty close, because obviously with the relationship we have with producer-director, at least the one that we had on our sets, I'm quite hands-on with producing, so I want to make sure that we've got everything we need to do to make sure that the actual film, comes out in the way that he wants it to do. So we had a lot of production meetings and a lot of back and forth to make sure that we got it right, the locations looked right. There was like days of discussions about the washing machine because the kitchen we shot in didn't actually have a machine in it, so we had to cheat that with the camera, which was like great, and it looks really good, like it belongs in the kitchen, but it's not in the kitchen. So yeah, like it's interesting because it is the film that I expected to make and planned to make, but still seeing it actualised has got that moment of just like when you see it, you're like, aha, I see inside his head now, in a way. Yeah, it's kind of hard to explain because it is the film that we planned to make and it is what we set out to do, but actually seeing it up on the screen, I'm sure like any of you guys like know what I mean. It's like it's good to see it actually come to life on the screen. Yeah.
So you mentioned the washing machine was a little bit of a challenge there. Anything else that was kind of a standout for that film that presented a challenge that you had to overcome?
I think timing was our biggest challenge with this one, because we did really shoot it. We had one big shoot day for one house and the outdoor scenes mostly around there, and then we had one other shoot day which was all of the indoor scenes for the house that they had, and then after that we just had to grab a few pickups, so it was really kind of shot in 2 days, which is short for the amount of stuff we've got going on in that one. So yeah, timing and planning and putting the schedule together and working with the rest of the team to make that schedule work in a way that we could get everything we needed to make the film actually be the film that we ended up with. So I'd say the timing was our biggest challenge.
I think it's an interesting question for you guys as well, because we're getting two different perspectives in terms of the roles. For both of you, what were the kind of those individual challenges for you with Theo's friend that got presented?
Probably the director, I would say. No, for me, I think, to be honest, the biggest challenge and fear for me, and I want to be, cautious and gentle in saying it, is it's an LGBTQ film, and I myself identify as straight, but I saw sort of the passion and the way that it had sort of moved Josh in this story, and he sort of came to me and said, I want you to play this, and I think I sort of saw it as, my personal experience isn't exactly the same, but I played football as a kid, and then I also danced, and I did a lot of ballet, and I got bullied and teased for that. So I wanted to sort of try and, honour the story as authentically as possible without doing a mimic or an idea or an impersonation of something. And I think the reason I originally got into acting was to understand people better, to have empathy for something. So getting to sort of live that experience through Josh, which felt very impersonal to him, makes, I think, me a better person. So it was a challenge, but it's something that I was glad to do regardless of the end product, is something I would say.
Mine's not as personal as that, I guess. I think it was that what really sticks with me is that the source material, his original published script, was lengthy and had a lot in it, that it was just so hard to find what was best to work in a short film format, what would really cross over and work well in film, and pick which bits, because we didn't. I think it was like up to 30 pages, and so we weren't going to make that into a short film. We kind of had to make it succinct and really cut some stuff out and really find what the core of it was. And obviously there was a lot of deliberating and debating. We'll keep it light over what should be kept in and how to show it. So that kind of went on through the entire process. I mean, even in the edit kind of thing was what to kind of show, because there was just so much in it that we really wanted to show from the source, and so it was just really difficult. And yeah, we would have loved to make a feature instead, but you know. So.
Is that something that might be in the pipeline? What is next for you?
We are actually working together on a couple of TV series that do have queer elements. Of course, I would never ever get away from that. I'll stop doing that. That's part of my story. But not directly this. But I wouldn't say this has always been in the back of my head. So I don't know if it'll come back at a later date. But not for right now.
How about for yourself? What's next in the pipeline?
For myself, so I actually was inspired by doing this process with Josh, who actually directed my first film at the start of this year. I was so sick of acting and not getting to choose my own takes, so I was like, it'd be really nice to just have creative control over this end product here. So I did that, actually had Josh DP it, because he's great at that as well. So I guess it's seeing sort of how that runs in the sort of festival circuit next year, and then kind of going from there. So I mean, I always have my agent coming in with a certain job here and there, so I'll do that from the acting point of view, but I think I was really inspired by the creative control, I guess, from the directing side of things. I really enjoyed it, and it's completely opened my mind, so it's another reason why I wanted to come here and hear from other directors and sort of learn from their mistakes and steal from them, so to speak.
Yeah, and let's finish with yourself. What's next?
Yeah, it's interesting you said it, because actually that's why I got into producing, because I'm also an actor, and I got tired of not being allowed to be creative when I wanted to, so I thought if I step into producing and I could just bring more stories to life, whether they're my own or someone else's, I was like, if I love the story, then let's just do it. So next up, actually, I'm currently producing on a feature film called Fairy Dust. We're in pre-production and hope to shoot that in October if all goes to plan. We just hit our crowdfunding goal like the day before yesterday as well, so we're like, go on, stretch goal. Now for the fabulous lenses to make it look beautiful, thank you. So yeah, Fairy Dust, it's I think sort of like Pan's Labyrinth meets David Bowie's Labyrinth, and then it's a kind of journey of self-discovery, and our main character Saga, she goes on this incredible journey through this fantastical world. Our director Chad has made all of these amazing like paper mache masks by hand, so there's like no AI in it at all, it's all practical effects, and all these masks that we've got, people keep going, oh, how did you get those for the poster? I'm like, no, they're real, they're all in my flat in a suitcase, like waiting to shoot the film, and they just look so good. And this character goes through this fantastical like fantasy world where she meets all these strange masked creatures, and it's like a journey of self-discovery with like hints of like neurodivergence and LGBTQ+ as well. So I'm really excited to get started on that. We are going to have so much fun.
Well, that sounds incredible. I think passing, just getting your crowdfunding goal deserves a round of applause on its own. It's no small feat. Really.
Thank you.
A lot of us have been there. It's not easy. Well, we want to see them as soon as they're ready. Make sure we see them. We'll always continue to support you, as we will with all our filmmakers. We're going to have to move on with the screenings now, if that's okay. But please give these guys one more huge round of applause. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us at Lytham, and thank you everyone for watching.